So back in 2003, I remember I was actually on the telephone in an old farmhouse looking out in the dark over all the paddocks and fields in the distance. I was talking to my father actually about UFOs, and all of a sudden I looked in the distance towards the south, and a orange orb was in the sky hanging low, and there were clouds. It was nighttime clouds, bit of moonlight, and there was an orange orb, and I was like, what is that? I got off the phone with him, went outside, and I was watching this thing, and it was kind of moving to the left and to the right, and it was just sitting there in the sky, and I was like, that's odd, what is it? And what I did, being a Christian, is I put my hand up towards it and started praying. As soon as I did that, it switched off like a light bulb. The orange light went out instantly. And then I could still see it because of the moonlight. I could see an object, and it moved slightly toward the north, would have been east, moved towards the east, towards the town of Waihe. And that made me think there's something spiritual going on here with whatever that was. It must have been a UFO, but there's something spiritual about it, and it didn't like me praying for it. I remember my mother was asleep in bed one night. This must have been about 35 years ago. She was telling me, in Waihe again, town I grew up in. So she said, I saw a UFO the other night. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, I was lying asleep in bed, and then I started hearing this woman's voice, and she was talking about universal love or something like that. And I looked up and I saw this UFO coming down over the house. She said she could look for something. I think she might have been under paralysis, but she saw this UFO and the lights underneath it. And she could hear the lady's voice speaking to her and that. And she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And the UFO just went up and took off and disappeared. So there's obviously something very spiritual going on with UFOs. And they're not what you think they are. These are the sources of Satan. You have to be careful, especially as Christians. These things are going to be deceiving people in the future. These are some of the experiences that I had 25, 30 years ago, but they're still relevant today as disclosure is becoming a thing now. Just keep that in mind. Thank you for watching.